Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Between the Sticks. Preseason still underway. Our season is only 2 weeks away, and we're back here having a chat about everything footy, everything the preseason, everything that's been taking the AFL world and the sporting world, for that matter, by storm. Nabil, we're back on the couch.
We're back. It's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful preseason. Footy's back.
Yes,
State
sir.
of Origin last week.
Yes.
Practice matches.
Yep.
As well. No, it's good to be back.
It's all getting busy and it's all getting underway.
It is. The heart rate's just going up and up a little bit.
Absolutely. As always, a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody for tuning in, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. Don't forget to continue doing so. That's what helps this channel grow and helps us do what we're doing and talk footy and enjoy all the stuff that we're doing. Obviously, the season is only 2 weeks away now.
It is.
From the date
TikTok.
of this recording. Yeah, absolutely. And we're basically on the home stretch of preseason, and like you said, practice matches have started and all that kind of stuff is happening. What do we want to have a chat about today, or what do you want to talk about? Where do you want to start? When Nabil's itching, there's always something crazy.
You mentioned practice matches. You know what? He's back. Baggers are flaggers. He's back. Carlton.
There's no way.
September
no
beckons
way we're starting
for the Carlton Football Club.
Nabil, there's no way we're starting this season.
Booked for Bali 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
You should keep those flights booked.
All of September I was going on holiday. Cancelled.
There's no way.
We will be there in September.
Why?
We beat Brisbane, the reigning premiers.
In a practice match.
We
Who
beat
cares?
the reigning. I cannot believe it.
Please
The
help
one
me.
problem we had
This
with
is not what we want to do this year.
Hang on. Last year, the one issue we had was our game plan.
Okay.
What I saw yesterday was a change in game plan. We finally decided to go smaller.
You finally went
Signers
to kick short.
decided to kick short. Finally decided to honour up a lead. Finally got a small forward that played out of his skin.
Interesting.
I'm
This is very interesting.
very excited.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't see a problem with your excitement. What I do see a problem with is where this excitement...
Can you read this shirt for me?
This year, you guys have been saying this for the last 30 years, okay?
It might be this year.
It might be, but I don't think it will be, let's be honest. Yeah, Carlton played in their first practice match yesterday against the reigning premier. I think they played their VFL side, I'll be honest with you.
They did. I think Brisbane had 11 of their premiership to 12, maybe 12 or 13 now.
Okay, and the rest of them were kids.
Yeah, but Kitty Coleman,
yes,
first game back in a couple of years.
Since that 23 grand final, he hasn't really broken back into that Brisbane team, and he finally did, which is great for him. Oscar Allen, their new recruit, had a pretty good day. I think he got injured or went off with a concussion at some point.
And the Ashcroft brothers were on fire, both of them.
You know who's a very scary prospect or proposition for the season and for the league moving forward? Those two brothers.
There was another bloke, forgot his name, Annabelle.
Yep, their newest draftee. I forgot his first name as well.
He had a really, really good game as well.
Yes, he did. But we'll talk about Brisbane a little later. What do you want to talk about Carlton? Outside of the fact that you believe that they're going to win the premiership this year.
It looked positive. I mean, I watched parts of the game. I was sort of tuning in and out of that game, and I watched highlights. And I'm going to save Jagger Smith for next week. I want to talk about Jagger Smith a lot, but Carlton supporters are doing this talking for me on social media.
You were talking some shit earlier today in the group chat about Jagger Smith.
I said he's got a higher ceiling than Nick Dacos.
You said no. That's not what you started off with. That's what you said to redeem the monumentally wild statement you made prior to that, and that was that you thought he was already a better player than Nick Dacos, and he's not played an AFL game yet. Okay,
we're a bit delusional at Prince's Park.
A bit is a bit crazy, but
he had a good game.
Yes, he did.
I think it's a Taylor Byrne, number 38 or whatnot. It was a small forward. He had a day out, kick 4.
Yeah.
New recruits, Ainsworth and Hayward looked good.
Yeah,
so that was pleasing. Sam Walsh was back.
Finally, he's injury-free and he's able to have a run, hopefully.
I think it's his first preseason where he hasn't been injured.
A full preseason. He's
been in the system for 5 or 6 years now. So
absolutely.
Positive signs at Carlton. So
I mean, I'm glad Nabil is happy about positive signs at Carlton.
2 weeks ago, I said we were finishing bottom 2.
Well, last week when we were watching that State of Origin game and Wiedering went down, you said the season was done already before it even started. He said, I'm looking forward to 2027. But
Now.
it looks like the train line has realigned itself.
I'm just glad to enter the season with a bit of hope.
Fair enough. Speaking of teams and big names and people that are looking forward to getting the season underway, there was big news that broke out during the week, which was Josh Weddle.
Yes.
Re-signed with Hawthorn for 4 more years.
Yes.
Now, there's something interesting around this, right? And that is...
What have you got for us?
Well, it was made public a while ago, maybe 2-3 months ago now, just before the end of last year. And that was that Essendon had offered him a $10 million 7-year contract.
Yes.
Now, in any normal person, any sane person would hear those figures and be like, I am definitely taking that.
He didn't even look like he considered it. They'd at least play it out.
Well, respectfully, and I'm going to say this on camera, but I'm going to say it with respect. If I was offered that by Essendon as well, I would have considered shit. Because the money is great, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's not winning a flag.
But what do we play footy for? Or what do they play footy for?
Premierships.
Thank you very much. And that was not going to happen anytime soon. He would be lucky to play the final series at Essendon, let alone win a premiership.
Yeah,
so
facts.
I understand why he didn't consider or didn't even entertain the idea of that offer. Don't get me wrong, it's a crazy offer. Almost
insane.
Close to 1.4 mil a year.
Insane figures.
Whereas he signed at Hawthorn now for 4 years for 900 grand a year.
Wow.
Which is $500,000 of a difference.
Yeah, wow.
But in saying that, I heard a little bit of chatter on SEN. We love to quote our boys from SEN.
If
I'm not mistaken.
Big SEN fans.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Tim Watson and Gary Lyon that said this might have been redemption that Essendon were trying to have for the whole Zach Merritt situation.
Okay.
So obviously Hawthorn
were
were trying to poach Zach Merritt. More so that he wanted to go to Hawthorn.
Yep.
Sorry. And it didn't work. And as hard as Hawthorn came for him is as hard as...
Do you think there's any truth to that? You're sitting here on the couch.
I guess we'll never know.
Would you buy that? Would you buy that story?
No, not necessarily, only because Josh Weddle is a very high-quality player. And it was funny, again, they were talking about how they announced his contract signing or contract re-signing. And all 3 line coaches came out and said, one of my players from my position, so the midfield, the defender, the forward coach, all came out and said, one of my players have re-signed.
Yes.
And then all the players were just like, who on earth? Or how many people re-signed? Or what was going on? And then they all simultaneously said Josh Weddle has re-signed.
Okay.
So the quality of player that Josh Weddle is, he can play any position. They played him in the ruck,
He's a star.
on the wing, down back, up forward. Like you can put him anywhere. So for a player with that much potential, and he's played 60 or 70 odd games now in 3 or 4 years that he's been drafted. I reckon
his next contract will be even bigger.
Absolutely, because he's only 21, 22. Yeah. So by the time he signs his next contract, he'll be in his mid-20s. He'll be in the prime of his career. Hawthorn or any other team that's coming after him will probably have to be paying him over that 1.4 mil that Essendon offered him.
And it'll be looking at Nasiah type money.
Probably, and it'll probably be more relevant at that point.
Absolutely.
That type of money getting paid to players. So, Josh Weddle re-signed at Hawthorn, which is probably the biggest news that's come out of this week, outside of obviously all the State of Origin conversations. The GWS Doco came out during the week or last week.
Yes.
After the State of Origin game, and there was some interesting seeds that
came out
of that.
I liked it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it. I'll be honest, full disclosure, I've watched bits and pieces of it, watched some of it online, watched clips on social media, so I didn't watch the whole thing from start to finish. But I from what I've seen, I liked it. It's as good as insight as you get into a football club.
Is this the more or the most raw internal footage we've seen from a football club in a very long time?
That I know of. Yeah. And I think there's a few more. There's Collingwood one coming.
Yes.
A Melbourne one coming.
Yep.
Maybe another couple more.
Yeah.
There's a few more.
Because they've generally been like
2 more on 7 and 3 more on Amazon Prime, I think, from memory.
Yes. Because there've been a couple after post-grand finals, behind the scenes footages and things like that, which haven't really been that inner sanctum and internal to the football clubs and what
this
goes
was
on behind
raw.
the
This
doors.
was raw.
Like Adam Kingsley's spray, and for anybody that hasn't watched that's definitely something you should watch.
Yeah. Just watch that spray.
Yeah, that spray alone And Adam Kingsley is not a small man.
Nah,
he's
I
a
think he's
large
got
human being.
150 kilo bench or something like that.
Yeah, he
He's a
could
big boy.
he could probably suit up and play at full forward, and there will be
Yeah.
a problem at the moment. But there's been a couple bits and pieces that have come out over the years, post grand final ones, post Brownlows, and this, that, and the others, or injuries and whatnot. But I don't think nothing as this.
No, this is good.
Yeah, intimate and internal has come out in a while that we've seen of, that we've heard of. You said you wanted to have a chat about the season that's coming up, the season that's in front of us.
Yes. So I've been busy taking notes.
Yes.
Busy the studio cooking. Let's
Yeah.
go with
Yeah,
that.
we
Cooking
can
in
cook
the
cooking.
studio. Cooking in the studio.
Yep.
I've looked at some the top 8 teams from last season, and
Yep.
we want to have a chat about them and then give our thoughts and give our
Absolutely.
takes on them.
Absolutely.
So the first one I've got off the bat is Adelaide, the minor premiers.
Minor premiers, yes, sir.
In last year.
Yep.
Some quick news there. Dan Curtis, their star recruit from a couple of seasons ago.
Dan Curtin.
Curtin.
Yep. They're drafted.
Did his knee.
Yep.
But let's talk about the Crows. Let's talk about the Adelaide Crows.
I'll be honest with you. I think, and forgive me for saying
No,
this.
go for it.
I think them finishing first last year was a bit of a fluke.
I agree.
Not only because of the way they performed in the finals,
Mm-hmm.
but because the teams that were under them were actually fighting for their lives at some point. Collingwood fell off halfway through the season, or 2/3 of the season in. Brisbane never really threatened that top spot the way they should have.
Yeah.
They had a couple of early season losses to North
Yeah.
Melbourne, and a couple of just silly games. Geelong never really looked like they were going to ever secure a top spot. So Adelaide, I'd just say probably had a good run home.
The skater that everyone else in front of them just
Yeah.
fell apart and they just slid through.
Basically, while all those other teams were kind of fighting for their lives, Adelaide just kind of, made their way through and got to the top.
With Adelaide, I've got the one question.
Yeah.
Kane Corns has been raving on about it.
Yep.
A lot of people talk about it. I actually got 2 questions, and I'll
Okay.
hit you back to
Hit
back.
me.
Are they a midfielder short?
Absolutely.
And the second question is, does their forward setup work, the 3 tools? And we can discuss both either.
I personally don't think almost any forward 3 tall works, personally, right?
Yeah.
Now, Tex is probably...
Tex is too old, too slow. He
We
should
said
have
this at the
retired last
beginning
year.
of last year.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
Tex Walker should have retired last year.
We said this at the beginning of last year, and Tex was his last year. We said that last year. We're saying this again, and I think the whole football community can agree. I think this is his last year. I think it's taken away from what the potential of that forward line could be.
Yeah.
Because he's on the list, so they're playing him.
Yeah,
They're paying him, so they're playing him.
yeah.
That's almost what it is. So I actually don't think that 3-headed
Doesn't
forward
work,
line
man.
works. I think Thilthorpe and Fogarty coming out of that forward line. Thilthorpe a centre half forward, Fogarty a full forward. Fogarty is a big boy; he can handle his
Yeah,
own.
he can.
Thilthorpe is no smaller and no less in
And they're still
stature.
a-
Taylor Walker, I'd say after the season will be done for.
Yeah.
I mean, great career. He's done amazing things. Unfortunately, hasn't ever won the big one, but it is what it is. That's footy.
That's footy.
But I think it's respectfully time for him to wrap it up.
I hope Adelaide are not afraid to drop him.
I mean, if his Thilthorpe and Fogarty were having a pretty good first 2/3 of their season last year.
What about Rochelle? They got Rochelle too.
Well,
Rochelle's
this
the
is
other
what
one.
I'm saying. So Rochelle has been kind of getting thrown in the midfield /
He does,
forward.
yeah.
Like almost like, hey, we don't really have space for you in the forward line like that, and or in the midfield, or you're not really equipped to play in the midfield. So they're kind of throwing him forward. So they need to actually find a permanent position for him. Their midfield woes
Yep.
are so far bad, gone
they
and
missed
bad.
out. They didn't go that hard at Petrarca. They missed out on Petrarca.
Oliver.
Oh, they
would've
missed out on
probably
Oliver.
helped them.
Rankin, hopefully, if you say he's injury and suspension free.
He just got
he's
injured.
gonna-
We found out this week
Yes,
as well.
yeah, he did.
Hamstring awareness or tightness or
So-
something.
They need a full season of high quality football from Rankin in them. In the
Absolutely.
midfield for them to have any
Archie,
chance.
their newest recruit, got
Archie
injured
will
as
be
well.
okay. Yes, he did. And it's a pretty serious hamstring too.
Yeah,
that one.
during the State of Origin game. Mark Keane,
Another injury.
probably their most important defender, I'd say, and what probably held that back six together for the most part of last season, is injured.
On Adelaide,
Yep,
in wrapping, in sort of bringing this all together,
yep.
where do they finish it?
I think they'll finish somewhere between 4th and 8th.
4th and 8th.
Yep.
I'm gonna have them 7th.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them 7th.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have them
So
7th.
roughly in the
About
same area.
yeah.
I don't think their highs will be as high
No.
as last year, and especially the way they went out in straight sets in the finals. I'll be honest with you, I think no one gave Collingwood a chance last year in that final.
Yeah.
And Adelaide just didn't show up, and they did the exact same thing the following week.
Teams sometimes choke when it's their first time in finals.
I mean, if you played most, and mind you, like these,
They were the minor premiers.
Not only they were the minor premiers, they beat most of these teams during the year at some point. So yeah, I don't think Adelaide, they will compete, just not as dominant as they looked like last year. Another one of those teams, that was high up at there with the best last year was Geelong.
Yes.
Let's be honest, have been there for a very long time.
Grand finalist last year.
Yes, which that makes it now 2 out of the last 4 grand finals, if I'm not mistaken.
Unbelievable.
Geelong,
Powerhouse.
22, they won it. 23, they didn't make it. 24, they didn't make it. 25, they made it. So yeah, out of the last 5 years, they've made 4 or 5 grand finals now. So
something like 13 or 14 prelims this century, or whatever these numbers
17
are.
or 18. Yeah, some ridiculous
numbers.
So what are your thoughts on Geelong?
Honestly, I don't think they've got too many weaknesses, and that's what scares me. Maybe their backline a little bit. They get Tanner Braun back. Ollie Dempsey another year. I'm hearing reports.
What are your thoughts about Ollie Dempsey?
He's one of my favourite footballers.
Really?
Yeah, he's a great runner. Runs all day on the wing.
Okay. He's put on some size.
So maybe if he goes into the middle, I don't think Dangerfield will have as good as a year as he did last year.
I mean, they might just throw Dangerfield a full forward and tell him to have fun with it.
That's it. And I'm not sold at the moment on Shannon Neal either in their forward line.
I think with Geelong, they've always found a way to get in those big key forwards and slowly just develop them. I think they have a lot of patience with their key forwards that other teams and other clubs don't. I don't know where on earth they pluck these ready-made AFL players from, but they don't rush too much or they don't lose patience too quickly.
No, they don't. They really don't.
So I see a lot of potential in Shannon Neal.
They were patient with Hawkins.
Exactly, and they took a long time to get his rhythm together. So that's what I'm saying. So
I don't know. I'm not sold on Neal.
Really?
Yeah, not sold on him.
I'm not necessarily sold on him too, but I think he'll grow into. I see the potential.
Okay, fair enough. Jeremy Cameron got injured again this week. A couple of injuries.
That grand final has. Yeah, maybe that grand final injury and that playing through it has probably caused him more harm than it did any help. He's injured, so Geelong's forward line isn't ready, steady for the season at the moment. Obviously, they still got a couple of weeks, a couple of practice matches left before the season starts. I think they will be able to manage. I think there's one guy that they've got on their list that has been bubbling but hasn't really quite hit his markers. That's Oliver Henry.
Henry. Yeah. Ex-Collingwood.
Yes.
You think he's got another level?
He does. I think his lack of consistency and being able to show that has been a problem for him.
He's been played all over the park, being in defence.
And that's what I'm saying. So, he is like that halfway between the small forward and the massive key forwards.
That third tall.
Basically. And the third tall that can actually fit in the forward line because he's not your 200 centimeter, 120 kilo guy, right? So if he gets his rhythm going and he gets his mojo going, he'll almost play that what Gary Rowan had in that position at Geelong a while ago when Hawkins and I forgot who the other key forward was for them that was down there. But Gary Rowan that played in that 22 premiership for Geelong, Ollie Henry can almost play that position if he gets his shit together. Yeah, absolutely. He can almost play that third tall.
Geelong fans love to hate him, Ollie Henry.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Popular. Well, his brother plays down back.
He does,
so maybe they take him down back and see how he goes down there. Because he can play on the wing. He's almost like a Will Hoskin-Elliott type of hybrid player.
That's actually a great comparison, Will Hoskin-Elliott.
The one that I can think of off the top of my head.
He's like a utility.
Basically, and Josh Weddle, almost. He can actually play in a lot of positions on the ground. So I think if he gets his mojo going and he kicks on, I think their forward line won't be in too much strife with or without Jeremy.
Where did Geelong finish?
I think Geelong will finish in the top 4 again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe fifth if they don't finish in the top 4. Maybe 5th.
I see them finishing.
What about you?
Second or third. Maybe second. Actually, yeah.
Second is actually...
I rate Geelong very highly.
Fair enough. Brisbane, the reigning premiers, the back-to-back premiers. What are our thoughts on them?
We spoke about them a little bit earlier.
Yes, we did.
But I think they can get better.
Yep.
And it was the names I've mentioned earlier, the Ashcroft brothers, Kitty Coleman.
Yep. Jasper Fletcher. Yep, absolutely.
Sam Draper.
Yeah,
when he gets
Oscar
back from
Allen.
injury.
Yeah.
So this Brisbane team can get better.
Absolutely.
The question I have is, can Zorko and Neil still produce the outputs they've been producing in the last 2 or 3 years?
I think
will Father Time catch up?
I think they can. Lockie Neal now, not because of his inability to perform, but because of all the external noise that's happening off the field for him and all the personal issues that he's got going on, and obviously the potential leaving Brisbane at the end of the year as a free agent to go back to WA, obviously, and all that. I think that might maybe play into how he goes personally. But again, he's an experienced professional. If he can handle it, there should be no problems. Exactly. So him, it's based on that. Zorko, I think...
You reckon they'll drop him at some point? Could he get dropped?
Potentially. You know why? Because Kitty Coleman needs to play in that team now. And he needs to break into that team. So if Zorko doesn't perform...
He might get dropped.
I don't think Chris Fagan will think, oh, no, this guy's been here for a long time. We'll keep playing me. He'll think, I want to go back to back. So he might drop him and just be like, hey, Kitty Coleman, this is your spot to lose now. So especially that and Jasper Fletcher still playing off half-back and not getting a full-time midfield position.
Yeah, Jasper Fletcher wants a midfield role too.
And so does the younger Ashcroft brother, Levi. He's kind of playing on that outside winger position. He wants an inside
They
midfield.
still got players like McCluggage in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Dunkley.
So
co-captain now, Dunkley, I think. Shout out
announcement.
Dunkley.
They announced their 3-man captaincy.
Isn't it 3?
Harris Andrews, Hugh McCluggage, and Josh Dunkley have been named
3
triple.
captains. That's a bit much.
So if they lift the Premiership Cup next year, there's going to be 3 of them holding one cup up. Instead of, I don't know where they're going to fit Chris Fagan on that stage with the 3 of them.
A few teams now have co-captains. What happened to the good old days? It
was just one guy. I guess they just need more leadership. I feel like it's either they have multiple captains or they have like a 25-man leadership group.
That's another thing.
Which is another thing that clubs have started doing now. There's like 7 or 8 guys outside of the captain and the vice captain that are part of it. So... yeah, Brisbane, I think, shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think they'll finish in the top 4 again.
Fair enough.
One thing I've realised about Brisbane, they don't make it a point to finish first or second, but somehow they win to
play a role.
The one thing they do love on top of that as well is winning a premiership the hard way. They love to play 3 weeks in September and play the grand final.
I've got Brisbane as premiers. They're going to go back to back to back.
Fair enough.
Brisbane team, I am sold.
I do think one thing about Brisbane, they might do a Richmond. This might be the year that they don't win it because everybody thinks they're the most strong and dominant team. Some surprise will take place at the end of the season. I don't know. North Melbourne might beat them at the end of the season. I don't know.
And then they'll win it.
And then maybe they won't win it this year or they'll make a grand final and lose it. And then who knows? Their team is young and strong. So they might still go through and win it next year. Who knows? But yeah, that's our thoughts on Brisbane.
Yes, the next team we've got is the Giants.
Ooh, this one is an interesting one. And I'll start this off. And ask me why.
Why?
Because they perform or they promise a lot of potential, the Giants. So they play well. They beat big teams. They do what they need to do throughout the season. For some reason, once it comes to the finals, they choke.
They choke, yes.
They choke.
They did it against Hawthorn last year.
They did it the year before that against Brisbane.
5th too.
That's what I'm saying. So they somehow managed to play well enough throughout the season. Here and there, they have a couple of...
They beat teams they should beat. They lose teams that they shouldn't lose to.
It reminds me of a team that I support in another sport, and I don't like it. But you're right. They win massive games.
They win on talent so much. They win on talent almost all the time.
What we spoke about earlier when we said the GWS Doco and Adam Kingsley spray, and that was exactly what he said. He said talent is not going to get you across the line alone. He's like, there needs to be effort, there needs to be some hunger and some, determination for us to win games and to play well. So I think GWS like that. I feel like they almost look at making finals as a pass mark.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that it is, but they almost make finals, and then it seems like they just take their feet off the gas, and they just kind of cruise control.
And look, they've got the talent. They have the talent to be able to be on cruise control. But like you said, cruise control is not going to win you finals.
It's not going to win you premierships.
No, it's not going to win you premierships. Just some news on GWS. Obviously, Tom Green, Josh Kelly are out for most of the injury. Clayton Oliver.
Is still injured as well.
He's injured too.
Yep.
Oh, no.
He's done a calf. So
no.
Oliver, Kelly, Finn Callahan's injured as well.
I know.
So I'd say almost 4 of their 6 starting midfielders are injured now.
Injury.
Unfortunately, Tom Green did an ACL.
I've got one question here on GWS.
Go on.
Contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders. I'm not
Pretenders?
even gonna
Then on that point, where do they finish?
I think they'll finish inside the top 8.
Okay.
Like they always do. I would say 6th to 8th.
Okay.
Now, considering 9 and 10 are also a potential finals position, teams finishing there, we don't necessarily think will go all the way to win anything. But I'd see GWS finishing 6th to 8th again. Now, how they perform in finals and how they go after the fact,
different question.
Different story. But right now, I'd say they finish 6th to 8th. And yourself?
I'm having them 9 and 10. 9 or 10.
9 and 10,
They're not playing finals.
So they might play finals due to the play in the wild card rounds. But again, like we said, I wouldn't necessarily call a solid finals team. I think the last team we'll kind of go through this week would be Hawthorn. So we'll start off with the Hawks.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the Hawks?
I don't know. Last year I thought they were a bit of I thought they were pretenders. I didn't rate them at all last year, and they ended up winning.
You definitely did not pretend.
I had to apologize on camera. Like
I remember that.
Not great. I had to apologize. Yeah. So
absolutely.
But I think this year, I mean, have they improved though?
I don't.
They added talent to improve. They're just expecting natural improvement from within.
Well, I think that's what it's looking like.
They've got this. Will Day still injured?
Yeah, freshly injured again.
Shout out Jay Newcomb.
Jay Newcomb.
Captain.
Yep.
Co-captain.
He made him co-captain. Yes,
yeah, so,
absolutely.
I'm not sold on their forward line, and I think Jack Gunston's year last year was extraordinary.
A 1 in a million. Yeah. I agree.
So he's not going to produce that again this year.
Okay.
So they're going to have the same level of output from their other forwards. Is Mitch Lewis going to get back to what he was prior to his injuries?
Well,
there's a lot of questions about Hawthorn.
Is he going to be able to stay on the football field?
That's another question as well.
Is he going to reclaim his form? Does that 3-headed forward line or 4-headed forward line?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's what is it? Cal Deshier, Mitch Lewis, Marbio Chol, and Jake Gunston.
Yeah.
That's too tall.
Not only too tall, Cal Shadia and Marbio Chol are not too bad in terms of mobility. They're mobile. I think Mitch Lewis is very much your good old-fashioned big key forward.
Stay at home
in the goal square type. And Jack Gunston, I just think genuinely decorated career, great player. I think he was the best at first last year and an All-Australian last year.
Yeah, he won't be producing that this year at his age.
That's the only thing I'd have concerns of. At his age, would he be able to produce that? What about their midfield? They didn't get Zach Merritt. What do we think of that?
They probably one short again in their midfield. I think without Will Day, unless you see Dylan Moore will go through there a lot more. You'll probably see the Wizard and Ginnivan. But again,
they're forwards again.
Yeah, they're not stars. But speaking about Hawthorn, I'm going to give you their first 4 games.
Okay.
You got to tell me how many of those they're going to win.
Okay, let's go.
So they play the Giants in round 1. They play Essendon, Sydney, and Geelong. How many do they win? I'm not sure about the.
I'll be honest with you.
Games against. I don't know where the one against Sydney's at. It's in Melbourne.
Okay. I think they'll beat the Giants, whether it's here or in Sydney.
Yeah, that'd be in Sydney. I think opening round.
Opening round. Yep. Yeah. You're right. They'll beat the Giants.
So you give them 1 win.
That's 1. They play Essendon. They'll run over Essendon.
That's
for
2.
Fun. Zach Merritt might be playing for them in that game too. Sydney in Melbourne. That'll probably show us where Hawthorn are at, and if Sydney are back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give that game to Hawthorn.
Oh, you're gonna say they're gonna beat Sydney?
I think they'll beat Sydney
at the MCG.
In Melbourne at the MCG. I think they'll beat Sydney.
So and then Geelong.
They will not.
Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday, I think, or Easter Monday.
Easter Monday. They will not beat Geelong for some reason. Regardless of how well they're playing Hawthorn, it's almost like they have a curse when it comes to
So you think they'll be 3-1?
So they'll be 3-1 to start the season.
Fair.
For the
That's
first
fair.
month.
Yeah.
The only game I can honestly see going the other way for them is the Sydney game, and I haven't seen, as good as I think Sydney will be, I haven't seen enough of Sydney in the last 12 months.
Sydney, I've got them to be finished top 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just I haven't seen enough of their team playing together well.
That's fair enough.
To say that they will beat them. So where are they finishing this year?
Where are they finishing?
I knew before you even said it.
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
stuck down, I said, where they're finishing this year, Hawthorn, I think they'll finish in the top 4. They have
top
to.
4.
Yeah, they'll absolutely have to finish in the top 4. Yeah, I think they'll finish in top 4. They have to, just to make it through. And they'll have to make it as far as a prelim, as a minimum, to say that they're actually a legit team. I'll give it over to you. Who do you think? Where do you think they will finish?
I'm gonna have them 10th.
10th.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're gonna be. There's always a couple of teams that go out of the 8. From in the 8, they slip out of the 8, and yes,
They
they'll
weren't
play
even
finals.
in the 8. They were in the 4
Yeah,
last year.
Hawthorn will finish 10th.
Interesting.
Hawthorn will
very
finish 10th.
interesting. You think Hawthorn will finish 10th?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I guess we'll wrap it up here today then.
We certainly will. I really enjoyed that. We
Yeah.
sort of went over a few of the
Teams,
last year's finalists and last year's teams that we think will go well.
Yep.
It was very, very enjoyable.
Absolutely. As always, a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. Now,
The other thing I want to say, lots of new followers, subscribers joined the channel in the last couple of weeks.
yep.
Special thank you for jumping on board.
Absolutely.
We've got plenty of
All the
content
support.
coming.
Yeah,
all the support.
absolutely.
And
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see you guys here next week.
Ciao.
Ciao.